Hey guys, let me tell you about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast if you're thinking of starting one, and it's free. Yes, free. They also have a creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. It's free and you can make money. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey guys, welcome back to Talk Shit with P. So today I have a special guest with us. I know all of you know what's going on in America with Black Lives Matter. So I have one of dear friend of mine who's going to join us and talk about how it has been protesting and being out there. So, Abby, welcome to Talk Shit with P. Can you please introduce yourself to the people?
Hi everyone. My name is Abby Mutiganzi, and there's not much to me. I'm 21. I recently graduated from college, and during this coronavirus pandemic time, I have decided to kind of spend some of my free time going to protests and doing whatever I can to move the Black Lives Matter movement forward.
Thank you. So let me ask, how are you feeling? Like mentally, physically, with all this that is going on and you being out there, how are you feeling?
It's crazy. I think I feel a lot of emotions in different times, but I'm trying to learn to kind of control myself and stay focused. But initially what happened was when I found out about Breonna Taylor's death, I was pretty upset already. And I think maybe the death of George Floyd might have fueled the fire for most, but I was already in a state of anger. And so when the protests were happening, I knew I wanted to be a part of it. And I felt like I've never felt it before. I felt like I have no other choice, like there's no other choice than to do this right now, to be a part of this protest and to aid in like donating and signing petitions. I've never really felt that spark before, but it was just like I got into a point of realization that like they would kill me today if they could, and so I need to fight against that. So so the first day of protests, the first time I went, I felt in the car when we were driving there, I literally felt like I was like a military person being drafted to fight in a war. I was just because I had seen everything that was happening and how the protests were just turning violent from the police side. And so I was like, oh geez, what if they start doing the tear gas and the bombing and all this? I was like, I really don't have a choice because this is about people who look like me. And I remember reading history books when I was younger and wondering why didn't people do this more, or why didn't people, support Martin Luther King? So now that I recognize that this is a part of history, it's like you feel like you have no choice, because how history has changed. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of emotions.
To be honest, I was so proud to see you out there, especially because I haven't been out there. And for you as a young person, 21 years old, to be out there protesting, like, I was so damn proud of you. What made you decide to be out there protesting? Like, what made you say, like, fuck everything, like, all the tear gases, I ain't scared, I'm going to be out there and I'm going to go and protest?
That's actually such a great question. I think it was a matter of... I think I already brought this up, but it was a matter of like maybe I got fed up. I've been in the U.S. for 6 years, and for 6 years after, obviously I'm from Tanzania and I live in Tanzania. So for 6 years, I've been having to understand, like, going from a country that's a majority of Black people, right, to going to where Black people are minorities and oppressed by another race. I just gotten so tired of how of how like unnecessary it is for this hatred to happen, right? And I just got tired of seeing it and experiencing it. And a lot of the that happened to me. Like it started when I was, I think I got here when I was like, I don't know how old I was, but probably like 17, 16, 17. So it's like I figured it just kind of like happened as soon as I landed. It started to happen, right? But other people like that I was going to school with, they had been so accustomed to this type of racism, right, and dealing with that type of oppression. So they were like, "Why are you so shocked? You know, like this is kind of what it's like to be Black in America, right?" And being like African, you hear that Americans is just amazing and da da da. So I was very confused, especially because it just doesn't have to be this way. So I just got tired of just like, why do we have to do shit that like, oh, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay,
take
cool.
all that anger, aggravation out.
But it's like, why do we have to do shit as if we're not human? Like, and it's like, why do I don't know. So
why do we have to protest and to fight for our rights when
it's just so obvious? Yeah. Or like right now, like when they're like putting on the news that like, oh, this and this place is taking down their Confederate flags. I think it's the U.S. Bases, Army bases are taking out, are removing Confederate flags from their bases. And I'm just like, okay, like, and people are like, wow, what an accomplishment. And I'm like, that shit should have never even happened. Like, this should have not have even been a thing to begin with. So I don't understand why we're celebrating it. And so when I see that we get so happy over these small changes, it makes me want to go more, because I want to be like, okay, so this protest, right, contributed to this amount of change. So if I go more, it's going to contribute to more change, right? And so that's why, So I think maybe for some people, I understand if like other Black people are not reacting as I did, is to like be as proactive as possible. But I'm not going to fault anyone for not wanting to go, because it's your safety, it's your body, it's your choice. And also as a Black person, you are allowed to have any reaction to everything that's going on, right? Like you're allowed to have any reaction you want, because you've experienced this for so long. It's your struggle, right? But I'm so happy it's also easier to go when you see people who are young, who are actively fighting to make a change. It's like, okay, I can't let them down, but not coming tomorrow. Because when you go there, you know there's going to be people coming every day for as long as it takes. And you talk to them, and you're just like, okay, there's no way I can just stay home and not do anything.
True.
Yeah.
So with all that, I want to know, how was the experience, especially with being, as you said, you're from Tanzania, so you're an African, protesting, in your African perspectives and with the experience that happened there? How was all this for you? Also, I want to shout out to Ghana Stand Up. I saw them standing up and marching for Black Lives Matter in Ghana. So that was beautiful to see, because they were fighting with us.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's dope. I actually forgot your question. What was it? Oh, how was
the experience, especially with being an African protesting, your African perspective and your experience in all this, being out there? How was that?
I think, honestly, for me, I'm protesting mainly in Cincinnati, and we did one day of, not really a protest, but we went to Louisville, Kentucky, which is where Breonna Taylor's from. And we celebrated her birthday there, but we also did a march there. So in Cincinnati and Louisville, which is the two places that I've really seen, it's been very, I don't think that it's hard to say, because you go there scared, right? Because you know that even if I put my hands up and I say, hands up, don't shoot, and I don't have a gun on me, like they could still kill me. Like, like,
especially we've seen how they're still pushing people, and
the
police are being aggressive.
Yeah. So sometimes it's like the first time I went, it was just like I was feeling like, okay, you know what? I need to make sure I'm not threatening, right? So I wanted to wear bandana to cover my face, and I was like, wait, bandana, I'm Black, I probably shouldn't do that, So I wore like a regular whatever M3 mask.
Yes.
And then so at first I was like trying my best, because my fears maybe had kind of taken my imagination far, right? But then I went there and I just realized, like, it's still scary, because as a Black person, I try and stay away from the cops. So it's like I was going somewhere where I knew they would be. So I was like, okay, it was still scary. So it's scary to be around them, but I haven't witnessed any like rubber bullets or tear gas or anything.
Thank God
Um,
for that.
yeah, but I generally am scared of cops, so I think I'm very biased. So I don't even want to say if it's been good
Oh,
or
I'm
bad.
scared of
But
them too.
yeah, I've always been scared. So I don't know. I don't know what they've been doing or what they've been thinking, but I haven't talked to a single cop. None of that. It's like sometimes you pass them, like it's very like weird because you're holding like a Breonna Taylor poster, and then they need to like allow you to cross the street or something to go to the protest. But I'm just like, yeah, I really don't give a fuck. So
At this
I
point,
just don't care. Yeah, I really don't care. Yeah.
at any point were you scared about COVID? Because COVID is still out there and people were in close proximity of each other. Were you ever scared of catching COVID?
That's actually a really good question. So so me and COVID have a weird relationship. um, so basically, what happened in the apartment building that we're staying at? This is a few like maybe a month ago. In the apartment building that we're staying at a month ago, there was a hurricane that came by. So everybody in the apartment building went down to the basement. Right? It literally came out of nowhere. The power went out. Like we had to go to this basement randomly. So it was dark and there was no time to like grab masks and stuff, and we just ran down there, right? So we ran down there, went down to the like a basement, and like everybody was there. So
everybody has the same thought of running to the basement.
yeah, and we were like all around each other for like 2 hours. I was like, bro, this is so, and this is when I was like super like, do not touch me. I'm OCD right now, you know? So I was like, this is a horrible situation to be in because we couldn't go upstairs until it was cleared and stuff. So ever since then, I've just kind of been like, you know what? Like, I might as well go to a protest because I was exposed then. But I do wear a mask every time I protest and stuff. The only time like I take off my mask is to drink water and stuff, but I try to make sure it's away from other people, not in the center of the protest. So I'm not really scared. I'm like, if that night didn't get me, probably it's probably gonna take a lot because that's the day that I was like feeling the most exposed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Also, I know you have white friends. So with all this, did you have white allies? Because I did see in a picture some of your white friends protesting with you. And if that's so, how did that make you feel to know that your friends are standing up with you for this cause?
Well, it's been I've been blessed though to have white allies, right? And I think for other people, if you don't have white allies or you don't have white friends, it's hard for you, and you're a Black person, it's hard for you to believe in white allies, right? But I'm like, trust me, everyone, they're real. They because some people also like to mask themselves as allies, but I'm so lucky that I don't have that situation. Like the people I've surrounded myself with, the white people I've surrounded myself with during this time have been so supportive of the movement and just as equally as outraged, right? And it's and for anyone who's listening to this and you're trying to figure out how to be a white ally, it's just a matter of like walk the walk, right? Like don't just tell me how upset you are or whatever, but like my friends have been going to the protests with me, right? And then there's been times where we're gonna face a wall of police or anything, and they actively are like, "Oh, guys, get behind me," right? And they'll be like, "Abby, come behind me." So using their themselves as a shield to protect me, right? Because they're white. So that the first time that happened, and we never talked about it. I never asked them to do this. They just did it instinctively when they saw cops coming, right? And so even though,
and that's what we need.
Yeah, and that's really all we need. So even though their fear of cops might not be as big as mine, they know that my fear is big.
You.
So they even are that's an acknowledgement of that and saying that I'm ready to like fight this with you. And so that, like, knowing your role in it. So if they had just stayed side by side with me, that would have been a great too, because they still have come to the protest. That's pretty amazing. But it would have been like, all right, but like knowing their responsibility and privilege for good is such a great, like for me, it's hard for me to question your intent, your motives if you're showing me how pure you are, you know, or how with the cause you are.
Exactly.
So well, it's been amazing. It's been really great to have white allies, and I encourage everyone to talk to their white friends.
On behalf of all the Blacks, because I really saw pictures, because when you posted everything on your social media, I did see your white friends up with you holding signs and protesting side by side with you on your videos. So on behalf of all the Black people, me including myself, I want to say thank you to you. White friends, thank you for standing up with us, and thank you for being allies, and thank you for taking care of our little baby over here. So with that said, you have also mentioned that you did go down to Louisville, Kentucky, hometown of Breonna Taylor, rest in peace, to celebrate her birthday. How was that for you? And what made you decide to get in the car and drive down there and be part of this celebration and bringing light to her?
Yeah, with the Breonna Taylor's situation, I think it was like, for me, just is a bit, I don't know, it just hit me so much because she was 27, and I think I connect that age with my sister. She's around that age too. And so I was just like, bro, this is someone who was working in the front lines of COVID, trying to make sure that we're safe and stuff, you know, putting herself.
And the fact that she died in her bed, that's what...
Yeah, and being an EMT person working during the time of a pandemic, it's like you're already saying, I'm willing to risk my life for this country, right? And for these people. So she was already willing to risk her life. Like, why take her life away? It was just like, for me, that, I don't know. I mean, all of the cases are horrible, but also Breonna Taylor's hometown is like 2 hours away from here, so it wasn't like I was gonna be putting myself in like on a plane or anything, and it was very doable to do all in one day. And my mindset for everything has just been, if I can do it, especially because, you know, it's COVID time, I'm not really working or anything. Like, why would I spend my day doing nothing? You know,
why you can
when I could do work, I could just go there for a day and stuff. But anyway, when the celebration was honestly amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I did it on Instagram Live, and
I saw. I was just wow.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was like everybody had balloons, and it was Breonna Taylor's favorite colors. It was blue, like a royal blue, and then I think there was like an option of like a silver. And then everybody brought those balloons, and then we let those balloons go during that time after singing her like happy birthday. But then the community over there is amazing because they brought out drummers, and like black men were like barbecuing, and it was just like,
it was all
it was honestly felt like a festival. And they had a speaker and music, and everybody was dancing, and them girls over there can dance. The people over there can dance. So yeah, it's an energy.
Her life deserves to be celebrated, because if she was here, she would be celebrating.
Exactly.
Well, so let me ask you, through this experience, what have you learned, and what advice do you have for the people, especially those who want to be out there protesting, but maybe they're scared because of how they see the police on the TV, or just whatever reasons they're scared, since you have been out there?
I think the first thing I could say is basically it's really important for people to know what's happening in the area that they're about to go protest, right? So obviously, not saying that anywhere is kind of like innocent from police brutality, but if your city or whatever your local protesting area is like has been under attack for multiple days, right? Just think about how strategic that is, right? That's probably not strategic for you to just be there just to get hurt, right? Maybe try and see if there's another, maybe some way, but they've had more peaceful protests and build in that community, because then you're actually building something, right? So that's been kind of my main focus, is paying attention to like, okay, I know what's happening in this place, I know, and I've heard what's happening with the cops in New York and stuff, but I'm trying to see what's happening in Cincinnati to see if I can sustain protesting there. So that's really important. The second thing I'll say is, once you decide to go to a protest, what I do mainly, I've been doing the protests and also like trying to send information through social media, but take some time to like just stay away from the phone for a while. Because going out in that environment is overwhelming for your emotions, right? Because people are out there, they're physically crying, and they're crying because they're hurt, right? And you might have an interaction with someone who is not on the same page as you about maybe defending the police or whatever, and then you might start engaging like an argument or something. It's like you have to maintain your emotional like stability. If you go all day and protest all day, and you come back and all you're seeing on social media is like cops brutality, whatever, it sometimes feel like, damn, like I just spent the whole day trying to make a difference and someone still got hurt by the cops, right? So just focus on the positive that you've done, and not maybe trying to feed. You already know what's happening in the world, so don't try and like inform yourself, because it just turns into hatred and anger and stuff.
All right, thank you. Also, I want to say congratulations, because you just graduated, and I know it was a quarantine
Yeah, oh
graduation,
my
which none
gosh.
of us expected. So, how was it having a quarantine graduation? Because I saw bits and bits of pictures with the Zoom and everything, and I know that must have been emotional because you couldn't have family here and everything and walk the stage after 6 years. Like, the least you can do is walk the damn
Yeah,
stage,
right.
So how was that for you?
Well, it was like very emotional. Like you said, it's not something I had planned for. Like I never planned. Nobody ever really tells you that this might happen during this time, especially during a time of transition. Like I was about to finish school and start life. But that graduation ceremony made it so much better. Like I was so stressed before that. I was doing online exams, online classes, and it was just like things are not making sense. And then I just knew for sure that my parents weren't going to be able to make it. But my schools moved the graduation to December. So I don't know. I still probably would not want to go. I still think that December is still too early. But anyways, but yeah, they did this Zoom thing, and I was so shocked. It was like a bunch of friends and family over here set it up with family from back home, and I was shocked because I was like, how did you get my African family to download Zoom and know how to use it and everything and not tell me, right? So that was pretty cool. But yeah, honestly, this graduation was a lot more sentimental than the other one could have ever been, because it showed that people like took the time to just focus on me. Like they still wanted to celebrate me.
They went the
Yeah.
extra mile
So
without
yeah, so for me, I
forced.
think it's actually more special than the regular graduation would have been, just because it was so unexpected and it just showed the effort that went in, because everything was so intentional. And then they got me even the cap and the gown, like they ordered that for me. So I was like, that's really cute. Um,
I'm so glad to know that you're surrounded by positive,
yeah,
like good people, and a good, especially doing everything right now with COVID and Black Lives Matter and all that. That you have a good supportive system around you, especially since most of us, our families are far, so to be dealing with all this, it's extra hard
it
on
really
us.
is. Yeah. So yeah, it's been an amazing. COVID is just a weird time. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we good, but I've been back at work for a month. So since when I came back to work, I still take precautions with the mask and social distance and whatever. But somehow life gotta still go
Yeah.
on. So I've been back at work, and it's hard to social distance with customers and stuff. But we are hanging in there. I'm thankful that I still don't have it, and I'm just wondering to see when
Yeah,
this
I'm
all
trying to
ends.
understand too. But I'm trying to see, because they're gonna say that in 2 weeks they're gonna be like, oh, the number of deaths and whatever is through the roof, and that's because of the protests. But they were gonna open up the country anyway, so I'm trying to see how that works. I'm excited. I'm excited to
Yeah.
see how they're gonna like try and finesse that, because they're gonna say the numbers are high, but they're still gonna open up. So
Yeah, because they're already starting to open up. Like most people are opened up. Yes, they're still taking those precautions of social distance or a certain number of people, whatever. But most places where people are already being out
yeah.
and about. All right, and with that, I have two things to share about Abby. One of all, it's a fun fact. Abby, like I've known her sister way longer, and we our like family, friends, and stuff in the family. But I met Abby for the first time, believe it or not. We were flying to America
Yeah.
together. She was coming to start our school, and I was coming to start my grad school. And we, from Tanzania to America, we were on the same flight with
Yeah, that's so
Irene.
true. I remember that.
Yep, you're such a quiet newbie, and look at you now, flourishing and fighting the fight out there.
Thanks
I'm
so
so
much.
proud.
Yeah, a lot of things.
The village
Yeah,
is
I
proud.
hope so. I hope so.
And the other thing, Abby has a social distancing show. By the way, when are you getting
Oh
a
my
new
gosh, I'm
episode?
so busy right. I have like, maybe I can post some of the old ones that I never actually put up. But
Please do, because with everything that's going on, the social distancing show was at least entertaining us and taking our mind off things. So she does have a social distancing show. She started when COVID happened, and it's on our IGTV. So follow her at Abby_Mutiganzi, and you can find her. She's also into fitness. If you've seen her body, you know what I'm talking about. So get into that. So with that, I would just like to say on behalf of all of us who can't be out there, we thank you for standing up for our rights. We thank you for standing up for what's right. And we thank you for being out there walking the talk. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Anything else you have to say to the people?
No, but yeah, I just want to encourage everyone to just do their part, do whatever you can. If you're not comfortable going out to protest, make sure you're signing a new petition every day, baby. Because even if it looks like a scam petition, sign that shit just in case. You know, you never know. But let's keep fighting, y'all. We still have a lot of work to do in this world. And when we're done here, we're going to go move this fight to Africa and India and Asia and wherever. We're just going to keep it pushing until the world is better, man.
Amen. And I know that change is possible, because look at all this, the fight that we've been doing for a week, and look at how many things have been changed. So if we gotta keep making more noise, that's what we're gonna make, because we know these changes are, they know that they're supposed to happen. They were just keeping quiet because we were keeping quiet.
So let's not keep quiet, because the noise is what's bringing these changes. Let's vote. Let's be out there. Let's be vocal. Let's do whatever we can to get the changes that we want to see. And with that said, thank you, Abby, for coming in. I appreciate your time. And it was amazing hearing your experience with protesting and being out there. We appreciate you sharing. And hopefully this can encourage those people who are scared to be out there and want to be out there. And until then, Talk Shit with P out.